Yeah, are you sleepy?
By the time Lyndon was born in January, Claire Bartlett had masking up, down, even when it felt uncomfortable.
What was the hardest part about being pregnant in a pandemic?
Breathing through a mask.
Now try doing it while delivering.
We did have special masks made, so I have one that says I'm the mama, and my husband has one that says I'm the daddy.
Bartlett is one of many pandemic moms grappling with questions about raising a newborn in the age of COVID.
If I get sick, will my baby get sick? Does it cross the placenta? Is it going to have any developmental impacts for her?
And when should she get the vaccine? As a physician's assistant, Bartlett became eligible at 34 weeks pregnant.
I was so late in the pregnancy that I didn't want to add any potential side effects from the vaccine to how I was feeling at 9 months pregnant already.
She decided to hold off until after her baby was born, a decision that was right for her. Dr. FIREW also became eligible for the vaccine while pregnant.
I think being pregnant in this pandemic added a lot more challenge to the usual challenge that comes with the pregnancy.
I mean, even something as simple as staying hydrated.
You have to be wary about how you touch your mask and then making sure that you disinfect. And also on a busy shift, we usually forget to eat.
She's been working on the front lines in New York, contracted COVID this spring, and over the winter was hoping to see recommendations about the vaccine. While 3 of them have been authorized so far, pregnant women were not part of those clinical trials. But experts are looking to healthcare providers like her for early indications of the vaccine's ability to protect pregnant women. It's estimated more than 30,000 of them, either in healthcare or who started a trial and then became pregnant, have received one of the shots.
The FDA have found thus far, and we got to be careful, but thus far, no red flags.
The evidence shows pregnant women are at higher risk of complications if they get COVID, which is partly why the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology is now recommending the vaccine be offered to all eligible pregnant women.
When you look at the vaccine itself, the mRNA vaccine, there's nothing biologically about the way that vaccine works or is produced that makes us think that it could or should be problematic for pregnancy.
Dr. Laura Riley helped craft those guidelines and talks with her patients about their own personal risk-benefit calculations.
Does your job get harder when you don't have the scientific information to give them, though, like right now?
Absolutely. This would have been so much easier if we had started those clinical trials earlier. It's hard to tell women, yeah, gee, I'm sorry. I know we should have had the information. We just don't. We will. We don't have it now.
Ultimately, Dr. FIREW received her vaccine in December.
The risk of me getting exposures to the known or unknown variants were very, very high. And also, being pregnant and being, a Black woman who was pregnant also comes with a lot of risk factors. More than so, not only about protecting myself, but was really more about protecting my unborn child.
Claire Bartlett also got her shot 2 weeks after Lyndon was born, thrilled that hope is on the way for other women and ready for whatever comes next.
Have you had any time to think and reflect about how you're going to talk to Lyndon about your experience being pregnant with her and her first few months in this world?
It'll be interesting when she's old enough to understand that conversation with her, what our world will be like at that point, how much will have changed, or will we be back to our old lives? So hopefully it'll be the latter and she won't ever have to experience anything like this.
And Hallie joins me live now. Hallie, thank you so much for doing this story. So many women worried about this. They have so many questions. We heard Dr. Fauci there saying no red flags yet for pregnant women with the COVID vaccine. But what else should expecting moms be considering here? I mean, there's just so much to worry about.
Well, true, right? But what you are hearing consistently, and what you heard from Dr. Riley, who is amazing, by the way, in that piece, is the idea of the risk-benefit calculation, right? There is evidence to suggest that getting COVID in pregnancy does put you at a higher risk of complications. And yes, there are some things. There's not a ton of research right now about the vaccine in pregnant women, although, as we pointed out, more than 30,000 pregnant women have been vaccinated, mostly healthcare workers, other people who started trials and then got pregnant. And there are no red flags. So you're weighing that, right? You're looking at, okay, what's my exposure to COVID, right? If I am pregnant, I know, as Dr. Riley said to me in a piece of the interview that's denied air, she said, I can tell you 100% that if you get COVID in pregnancy, that may not be good for you, right? there are also, as she pointed out, no reasons to believe that mRNA vaccine would have a biological impact that's any different for women in pregnancy. So the research is all pointing in that direction. Dr. Fauci made it very clear. No red flags. You've got Pfizer enrolling pregnant women in clinical trials now. And what's interesting is you have 15 states, Allison, plus D.C. here, who are saying, yes, pregnant women should be on that list of medical conditions that should get priority vaccinations. One expert that I talked to said, we actually want to see more states doing the same thing. The ACOG guidelines, these expert guidelines say, yes, pregnant women should be offered the vaccine if they're eligible for it. That's a conversation women will want to have with their doctors.
Hallie, you became a new mom yourself to baby Monroe right at the beginning of the pandemic. I can't believe that your baby is almost a year old, but any words of wisdom for anyone about to become a new parent during COVID? I imagine that year both felt like an eternity and flew by.
100%. And I should have brought down the amazing Philadelphia Eagles onesie that you got her that she no longer fits into anymore, Allison, because she is an enormous one-year-old child now. I would say, the things that we have heard from pregnant moms and new moms, as we've talked about, the sense of community is really important, right? And the idea that you can, even virtually in this very difficult time, turn to people, be able to talk to them, having supportive partnerships in your life. I'm lucky that I have an amazing partner who is, 50-50 in everything. But here's the thing, Al, the stress and the anxiety is real when you're a new mom, and it is even more real when you're a new mom in a pandemic. That's just what the research is showing. And what you'll see in other pieces of this series that are coming out over the next few days and next week is researchers talking about how the stress and anxiety levels they are seeing in pregnant women and the ones that they're surveying are like nothing they've seen before. It's something that you got to shine a light on. You talk about it, try to remove the stigma around these mental health challenges. And we'll be doing that in one of our pieces set to air next week.
Oh, love it. Listen, Hallie, you and I have known each other since we were both working back in Connecticut years ago, and I thought you were awesome then.
Babies ourselves.
All the props in the world. Seriously, all the props in the world for what you have done this year. I know it is no simple feat to become a new mom during a pandemic. And let Monroe know new Eagles gear on the way in an appropriate size. I promise.
You are the best. She will thank her Auntie Allison. Appreciate it.
See you soon.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.